This is Think Tank's brand new Airport Navigator version 2, and it is a fantastic roller bag, but not for me. To be honest, I actually don't love it that much, and when it first showed up at my door, I didn't have a ton of positive things to say about it. But then my wife saw it and was like, hold up, this thing is awesome. My name is Josh Birman, I'm a wedding videographer, and this is my wife Emma, she's a wedding photographer.
Hello. And I did indeed steal the bag from him, and I am the one that has been using it these many months now, many moons. And so we thought it might be appropriate for me to come on here and talk about my experience with it.
So we're gonna kind of split this review between the two of us. I'll talk about some technical things and some things from the videographer side of things, and Emma will talk about her experience using the bag as a photographer.
It's gonna be so much fun, and you guys are gonna be like, Josh, bring Emma back more.
Think Tank gave us this bag for the purpose of this review, but they are not sponsoring this video, they did not pay us in any other way, and they have no input or control over what we say, and they do not get to review this video before it goes live.
For the small size of this bag, it's actually really impressive how much you can fit inside it. I do find myself wishing that it was slightly bigger, maybe a little bit taller or something, just because I have a few other things that I would love to be able to stick in it that I can't, that require me to put it in another little bag, and then there's just multiple bags. But again, it's actually shocking how much I can fit inside this bag. So the capacity is really impressive for the size that it is. I can fit both my cameras, I can fit multiple lenses, I can fit my on-camera flash, and I think even two or three of my off-camera flashes, which is impressive, and batteries and lens hoods and whatnot. So the fact that all of that can fit in such a small bag is just a very impressive feat on Think Tank's part. And I do really appreciate that, because it's nice to have an option for a smaller bag that can also fit a lot of the things that you need, almost all of the things you need.
The carrying capacity of this bag is probably my biggest complaint about it, but it's not actually a complaint about this bag in particular. This bag can actually carry quite a bit of equipment for its size. I just personally don't see the point in getting a roller bag of this size, at least for videographers. If you're buying a roller, you're already committing to getting something larger and more cumbersome than most backpacks, so why are you limiting the equipment capacity to that of a backpack? To me, if you're gonna spend a bunch of money on a roller bag, you might as well get a full-size one, even if you don't think you're gonna use 100% of the available space. But that's just my opinion. I'm honestly very impressed with how much stuff you can fit into this bag. For how big it is, you can cram a lot of stuff in here.
The only thing besides light stands that I can't fit in the bag, I don't have enough room for my flat lay kit, which is I have a small amount of ring boxes, some ribbons, little knickknacks that are helpful for when doing a detail flat lay at a wedding. I don't always need it. So it's not like it's a necessity, an urgent thing like batteries or memory cards or whatever, but it is something that I really love to have with me, and I like to have ideally everything in one bag. With this bag, I can't do that. But again, I feel like my complaint kind of is silly, because the whole point of this bag is to have a more compact, small bag. So I think my all-in-all opinion about the capacity is just, it's really, really stinking impressive how much room there is for such a compact bag.
This wouldn't work very well for me with video gear. My cameras are bigger than Emma's, and I generally have more equipment per shoot than she does. I wouldn't really be getting very much more space than I would out of a standard backpack, and if that's the case, I think I'd rather just use a backpack. Emma can fit significantly more of her equipment into this bag than I can with my equipment, so it does make more sense for her than for me. I think the design of this bag is pretty good. I like that you have multiple access points. You can open it just from the top, which gives you quick access to whatever you have positioned up there. If you've got your cameras positioned up towards the top of the bag, this is a great way to grab them quickly. This also allows you to use these little mesh pockets up on the top flap.
It's nice to be able to just access those things without having to fully set the bag down, open it up. You can just have it in its normal rolling position and just unzip and grab. So that's nice. For me personally though, I once I need in my bag, I kind of need everything. So I'm always setting it down and I'm always opening the bigger opening to get to things.
You can open the whole bag up from the side and see the entire main compartment along with the laptop sleeve. The bag includes these little straps that you can use to prevent the side from opening all the way. That way you can open the side compartment just enough to grab your laptop and you don't have to worry about all your stuff spilling out. I don't really find that mode very useful, but it's cool that it's there. What I actually find the most useful about these straps is that they have these tiny little pockets to store them in when you're not using them. And these pockets just happen to perfectly fit an AirTag. So you can hide an AirTag inside one of those little pockets, and I think it's hidden so well that nobody's really gonna be able to find it even if they're looking for one. As with basically every think tank bag I've ever used, the handles are fantastic. There's a super comfy, easy to grab handle on the very top and a little strap on the bottom to help you carry it.
I do find myself wishing that there were more pockets on the exterior of the bag, just because there's certain things like, I don't know, my wallet, my chapstick, don't make fun of me, but I have a little fan that I use for when I get warm, a literal like la 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 fan, you know what I'm talking about. The sound effects help. There's just not space for that. There is one small zipper pocket right under the handle, which is great. It's really nice. I can fit business cards in there, a couple of batteries. I could fit my chapstick in there if I needed to. But things like my phone or my wallet or my little fan or I don't know, just random knickknacks that I would love to have more accessible to me at a moment's notice are either usually in another bag or they're inside the bag, which means then I'm like unzipping a whole thing, which it would just be a lot nicer to just unzip one little I'm just thinking about when I'm in the In-N-Out drive-thru and then I'm like, Sacagawea, where's my wallet? And then I'm like, oh, it's in the bag.
It's got these little mesh pockets inside the top flap, this really slim one on the top, and it's got a water bottle pocket on each side. And that's it though, there's nothing else. I think it would have been really nice to have some sort of organizational pocket on the front of the bag, or maybe replace one of the water bottle pockets with a roomy zippered pocket with some little organization dividers. I don't know. It just feels like this bag could use some more pockets, and there seems to be enough room here for some. Especially having two water bottle pockets on either side, I don't feel like you need two. Just get rid of one of those and add that zippered pocket. I feel like that would have used the space better. The other thing I feel is missing here are dividers of different sizes. They give you plenty of dividers, which is amazing. Think Tank always seems to give you a lot of dividers, which I love. The only problem is that they only give you one size, and that one size is kind of big. I often found myself wanting some slimmer dividers to better fit inside the like little tight areas instead of having to just bend the ones that they give you. Not really that big of a deal, but making half of them half-sized would have been a nice touch.
I love the four wheels so much and they are so smooth, they're wonderful. I wish there was some way to quickly and easily lock them. It'd be cool if it was even something in the handle, which I don't know if that's even feasible, but I do wish there was a way to lock the wheels because if you're in any place that is not completely flat, if there's any sort of incline at all, your bag is rolling away from you for sure. It's happened to me multiple times where I'm like, so this floor is not level. Goodbye, bag.
The wheels on this thing are amazing. Going from a roller bag with 2 wheels to a roller with 4 spinner wheels is such a massive improvement. It moves wherever you want so easily, and you don't have to pull the weight of the bag, it pulls itself. That said, this thing is kind of bulky. It's about the same size as a standard camera backpack, but because of the spinner wheels, the overall size increases quite a bit, which in turn means this thing isn't gonna fit under an airplane seat, whereas a backpack of roughly the same volume would totally fit. So if you're traveling by plane, you're gonna have to treat this as a carry-on and stow it in the overhead bin. Not really that big of a deal, but to me, because the capacity is nearly the same as a backpack, it doesn't really make sense to take this on a plane when you can get a full-sized roller instead and then bring a backpack that's the size of this roller. You generally only get one carry-on item that can go in the overhead bin, so by choosing this roller over a full-size roller, you're essentially giving up all that extra space that you could be taking advantage of with the full-size roller. With that bigger roller, even if you don't need the extra space for camera equipment, you could totally fill it with clothes or whatever else. I feel like extra room is always a benefit when traveling. And there's a very good chance that this might not matter to you at all. These are just the things that I think about. I think this is a really nice bag. It's very well made. For the size, it holds a lot of gear. However, for travel, I don't think this is the best value proposition. I really think you'd be better off getting a full-sized roller, something like Think Tank's Airport International, Takeoff, or Roller Derby. In my opinion, if you're going to spend the money on a roller, go all out and get the largest size you can, especially since the larger bags are only $80 to $100 more and you're getting significantly more space. The Airport Advantage XT is actually cheaper than this bag and has all that extra space. For videographers, I don't think this is the one for you. Most of us have more gear than this thing will hold anyway, so in that case, just get a larger roller. And even if your gear would fit in here, I'd probably just use a backpack instead. But again, that's just my opinion. And then when it comes to Emma and I just don't really think that this bag is the right bag for us. We kind of both have more gear than will fit in this bag, so having a larger roller is probably a better bet for us.
I have really enjoyed using this bag these past several months. It's obviously good quality and it has been really sturdy, and I've really enjoyed every wedding that I've gone to where I've gotten to use it. I would say for photographers who don't use off-camera flash, who solely rely on their on-camera flash, this is a really great bag. If you got 2 cameras, if you got a holster, any of that stuff, doesn't matter. This is great. You could totally use this. And if you're not using off-camera flash, like if I wasn't using it, I could also fit my flat leg kit in here and maybe like my neck fan and stuff. So it actually is surprisingly roomy for what you get here. If you're a destination photographer, wedding photographer that travels in any way, it might not be the best. Again, depending on what sort of stuff you're packing and how much gear you have. But for local weddings, I think this is a great way to go. I think this is a great option. So, okay, goodbye.